Hi, we are now with Linnell Williams, Executive Director of Willbridge of Santa Barbara. How are you doing, Linnell?
Fine, thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. It's actually an honor to have you.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know your efforts are so good to help so many people here in Santa Barbara. So let's start this interview explaining our viewers what is the mission of Willbridge.
Willbridge is a safe haven for the chronic homeless mentally ill. We house adults, both male and female, and these are individuals that have struggled with homelessness for many, many years of their life, as well as mental health. And they have been very service resistant and have not agreed to come inside for a long time.
I see. Now, tell me a little bit about the history behind this organization. When and why was it founded?
In 2004, I was invited to a forum put on by the chief of police and introducing restorative policing to our community. And with that, it was great information. It was very informative of how the police department and case management would work together in dealing with individuals with chronic homelessness. And the gist behind it was that homelessness is not a criminal activity, but it's a need in the community to resolve people from constantly living on the street. So with that, I was invited to a second task force, and it was there that I got somewhat, I call it a vision, where I felt I was inspired to support this initiative. And from that, Willbridge was born.
How many people do you help per year?
We average about 25 to 37, depending on the availability of being able to move people into other types of housing. But we also have an outreach team, and we average about 170, 180 clients a year there as well.
Now tell me, what is the most common mental illness here in the area of Santa Barbara?
Well, our experience has been schizophrenia, bipolar, severe depression, those three.
Now let's talk about your restorative program. What do you offer to your residents?
Well, this particular program is transitional housing. So these are the individuals that are coming to us right from the street. We also have a permanent supportive housing program where our residents are able to graduate into more independent living, but still have case management services and some minimal supervision, but they live in a house where they have private rooms as opposed to community living where they have shared rooms. And then we have our medical respite program through Cottage Hospital. And we have our Pear Street Outreach program where we have two teams that go out and meet people right where they are on the street, help them get connected to services. They fulfill their basic needs, be it clothing or food. They make shelters to other services, and sometimes they offer them transportation.
I see. Now tell me more about your location, because it does feel like a home. You know, you have living rooms, bedrooms. Tell me, is this part of the environment that you would like to
Yes,
have?
I've worked in larger facilities. I worked in a 160-bed shelter in New York City, and I also was the director of the Salvation Army Hospitality House, and that's a 76-bed shelter. And I found that if it's a small, intimate environment, there's more one-on-one, there's more personal care. The clients can relax. And prior to opening the doors here, we did a 6-month survey on the street, and we actually asked homeless individuals what they preferred, a small environment as opposed to a larger shelter. And this was how Willbridge was able to establish a need for a more intimate home-like style.
Good. And how long can somebody stay here?
Initially, because it's supposed to be transitional, we thought it would be 1 night to 6 months, but that's not realistic in Santa Barbara because of the lack of affordable housing. So we've had clients with us as long as 2.5 years before we've been able to move them on.
Linnell, how can people contact you?
Our phone number is 805-564-1911. Our website is www.willbridgeofsantabarbarainc.org, and our email is admin@willbridge.sbcoxmail.com.
Well, thank you, Linnell. You do an excellent job here at Willbridge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now we are going to talk with one of the board members of Willbridge of Santa Barbara. And again, thank you for all that effort.
Thank you.
And let's meet him. And we are back here at Willbridge of Santa Barbara, and with me is one of the board members of this nonprofit organization, Officer Bob Casey. How are you doing?
Just fine, thank you.
It's good to have you in our show today. And let's just start by telling our viewers what happens once a person finishes with the program here at Willbridge. How is the community reintegration?
Well, when a person leaves Willbridge, many times Willbridge being more of a home than like an institution, they're able to integrate or go into the housing community or into a single-family apartment, and quite often they move in on their own, which is what Willbridge is all about, to get those people that are on the street, unable to care for their own self, and have lost all their drive to stay alive, you might say. They get into Willbridge, they get used to living indoors, and then they can transition from Willbridge into another facility, which is beneficial to them and society.
Now, what happens if a person can't deal with the social aspect of life? Can they return to
Yes.
Willbridge?
Yeah. Sometimes people do leave Willbridge, and they have problems in the community, and they're accepted back into Willbridge, which is what makes Willbridge unique. Willbridge welcomes those people with open arms if there's space available, and try and get them rehabilitated so they can get back into the community and back into housing.
So tell me more about the staff members. How do you organize yourself to accomplish all your goals?
Well, we meet at the end of every month and discuss our goals and where we stand financially, the number of beds we have available or don't have available. So our meetings, we generally iron out our problems every month.
Well, thank you for all that information, and I just wish really the best for you and all the people here at Willbridge. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank
time.
you very much.
For more information on the Nonprofit Spotlight, check our website at www.sbchannels.tv.